Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. Yeah, I think I've done a reading for you before, so I'm not going to explain a whole lot, but I just want to remind you this is not an exact science. We communicate the best way we can. Sometimes you got to stretch it outside the box a little bit. Um, I don't get all the details. Details are none of my business. She'll give me just enough so you know, hopefully know what she's talking about. But if you don't understand it, just keep it in mind because you'll either see it later, remember it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later and go, I know what she's talking about. So I'm going to start off with um, anything that happens to me when I get ready to do a reading or while I'm doing a reading is meant for you. So as I'm trying to make this short, as I'm trying to get in here to do this reading, I keep hitting the camera button. The camera the camera won't come up. The camera won't come up. And I thought, all right, what the hell? So I rebooted my computer because I did have a lot of stuff open. And then the password wouldn't work. And right before that, my, the, God dang it, I want to say backdrop. Backdrop's not the right word. My desktop pictures, darn it, the background, can't think of the right word, sorry, had switched to something totally different than what I even have on my computer. So I'm going, what the heck is going on here? So if you're having problems with your computer, if you've got strange pictures showing up, pay attention to the pictures. Mine was something that my grandson wouldn't use, but it's not on my computer. Anyway, just pay attention to what pops up, or if you're having a problem. That will be her messing with you, but also trying to show you, probably trying to show you something. So it was quite a big deal here for a little bit, so I'm really behind now. Trying to get this straightened out. My number lock was off, so as I was typing in passwords, nothing was working. That was because my number lock was off. So just those types of things. Know that that's from her, and she's laughing. She's laughing. But like I said, if something strange pops up that doesn't really pertain to you, or like I said, this picture that was my background is not on my computer, pay attention to it. Okay, now we'll get going. Ooh, I'm getting a really sharp pain right here. Really, really, really sharp pain. This is the left side of my head. Doesn't have to be the left side. I don't know if you've been having really bad headaches, or if she had bad headaches before she left, or something pertaining to her when she left. She's going, hey, hey, how are you? She says, what have you been up to? And then she starts laughing because she knows what you've been up to. She says, I can see you. And I promise you 1,000% they can hear you, they can see you. Talk to her all you want to. Ask her questions, and then, give it a little bit of time and something will pop up and you go, ooh, that kind of pertains to what I asked her. That's your answer. It's really very simple. You just have to know what to look for. But okay, she's showing you walking along with your head down, and you're, I'm not going to say scuffing your feet, but kind of shuffling your feet. I don't know which word to use, just kind of almost dragging your feet, like while you're aimlessly. Okay, she shows the word guilt above your head. So it's like you're walking along kind of sad, and you're just kind of scooting your feet along, and she's actually reaching up above your head because that's where the word guilt is, and she's swiping it. She's grabbing it. I've never seen one do that before. She's grabbing it and she's hugging it. She's hugging the word guilt. But she has a big smile on her face while she's doing it. You have nothing to feel guilty for. I'm taking that away from you because it's not yours. And then it's like she's playing tug of war with you with the word guilt. It's like you're trying to take it back, but she's trying to keep you from taking it back. She says she's going to win. She says there's nothing to feel guilty for. Life happens. Shit happens. And she's showing herself getting, I don't want to say lighter, but higher. That's not the right word either. Her vibration is getting higher and higher and higher. So when we leave, we don't have this heavy body to hold us down anymore and to hold on to that anger and guilt and all that heavy earth crap. So when we get there, they cleanse us. So they peel us like an onion and get all this heavy, all those negative things that weigh us down here. They peel that off of us. And her vibration is getting higher and higher and higher. Even though she's taking this guilt with her, it's not affecting her. Because she knows how to transmute it into something positive. She says even though she's taking this from you, you're still going to remember it. You're not going to feel it, like hold on to it like a rock in your gut. But you're going to remember it. So it's going to benefit you somewhere later on down the road, even though you don't really still have it in you. If that makes sense. I see what she's doing. She says later on down the road, you're going to go, oh, no, I did that once. Not going to do that again. Nope. I learned my lesson. So this was a lesson for you, and we're here on earth. Whether people believe it or not, we're here on earth to learn lessons. Our soul is here to learn lessons, which evolves our soul higher. Not going to get into a big explanation about that. I think I've learned enough lessons in my life. They need to leave me the hell alone. I think we all feel that way. Enough is enough. Okay, so she's holding a little bell by your head. It looks, oh shit, that hurts. It looks like this kind of bell, only a whole bunch smaller. Whole lot smaller. And this one, that's my chakra bell. Stop. Whole bunch smaller, so it's not a big ding like that. It's a little tinkle. I'm going to have to buy one of those bells because they do this a lot. I know I don't have anything. Yeah. Anyway, she's holding it by your head and she's tinkling it. She says you're going to think you have bats in your belfry because you're going to hear this bell tinkling. Okay, but but that's not the same thing. She says, yes, kind of, yes, kind of, yes, kind of. I have tinnitus. I have a constant ringing in my ears. When it's one of them, I get it in one ear. I have tinnitus in both ears, but one ear, and it doesn't really matter which one. Usually it's this one. my left one for me, the higher the higher the ringing, the higher the pitch is archangels clear up to the top. When it gets just a little bit different or a little bit, it's more of a shriek. That could be her trying to talk to you, depends on how low the shriek is. But it's not the same thing as the bell tinkling. So you're going to get both. Your head's going to be ringing like mine. Sorry. But anyway, when you get that shriek in one ear, tell her or whoever's trying to get a hold of you, she says she's going to try. Your vibration's too high. I can't understand you. You need to come down to my level. You need to lower your vibration. I can't understand what you're trying to say, what you're trying to get through to me. Now, the tinkling of the bell, she's showing it separate. She's showing it on the opposite side. That's a noise that you could hear going through the store, in your car, outside. Doesn't matter where you're at. When you hear this little tinkling, so no, that's a sign from her. Validate her, acknowledge her, tell her you love her, and ask her to bring you more signs if that's what you want. It's your free will choice to do, whatever you want. She says you need to start thinking about what's going to make you happy. What's going to make you happy in life? She says she says muttering. You're kind of muttering along. I'm not sure why she picked that word. You're kind of muttering along, kind of in a fog. And you may not be in a real fog, but just maybe a little. She wants to see sparks go off for you, she's showing like a sparkler coming out of your head, like she wants to see those sparks. She said it's kind of like you have a little black cloud over your head. What cartoon character was that? Linus or one of the Peanuts characters or something? I don't remember their names. You she says you need to make a choice. You need to make a choice. What's going to truly make you happy? And start taking steps towards it, even if they're baby steps. She says you can do it. She said she can do it. She's saying you can do it. Start looking in the mirror and saying, what can I do for you? Man, these guys have been coming through with a lot of new advice, like darn good advice lately. She says, put a sticky note on your mirror, in your bathroom or wherever, in your car, doesn't matter where. What can I do for you? To remind you to look in that mirror and say, what can I do for you? She says, not Joe Blow over there, not Miss Susie over there. What can I do for you in the mirror? You're hanging on to some regret, and part of it might be to do with her, but there might be something else too, because she's kind of making it feel a little broad, but I feel like part of it's attached to her. She says you need to let go of the regret, but remember the regret. So it's kind of like the other thing, which I've never heard it put this way before. You're going to remember it, but you've got to not be attached to it. She says that only weighs you down. Everybody has regrets, but they are not ours to keep. And she's saying, just like when she went up there, she's taking her hand and it's like she's wiping sludge off of herself. And it's the regret she's talking about. And it's like she's wiping slime off of herself. And it goes, throw that off. Gonna wipe this slimy stuff off and throw it because I don't need it anymore. I love you. We are still friends. We always were. Don't worry about the past. You need to look at the future. She's talking about, say it again, crickets. Crickets. I don't know if she's actually talking about the little cricket animal, or if she's talking about, when somebody says, all I hear is crickets, it means there's silence. It's so quiet you can hear the crickets chirping. It feels more like it's along that line. She's not saying, okay, so she's bouncing what looks like a basketball, could be a volleyball, but it looks like a basketball, and then when she holds it up, it's a football. I don't know if you guys went to school together, you went to a lot of games together. Could have been cheerleaders, could have been something at the games. So it could be, she might be, it could be volleyball, basketball, and football. Maybe you went to all those things, or maybe you were involved in those things, played those sports. Here, cheer squad. She's just she says, remember my light. But she seemed like she was such a light, bubbly person. And when you're like that, when you're that kind of a soul, your spirit shines, even though people don't know what they're looking at, they're drawn to you like a moth to a flame, like a bug to a light. And people were drawn to her because they could see this light, even though you don't really realize what you're seeing or feeling. People were drawn to her because she was such a light. She wants you to try to find some of that so you can shine your light. She says you can help others if you try. But don't forget to look in the mirror and ask, what can I do for you first? And I will say, one of the hardest things I learned when I started to do this work was to put me first, because us girls don't do that. We go, oh, look, we got to help everybody else. If we get depleted, there's nothing left for us to give everybody else. So we have to rejuvenate ourselves. We have to take that bubble bath. We have to do, I don't really do meditation, but we have to find that quiet time. I have to have my walks. I have to have my quiet. I have to do for me, even though I might have to put somebody off for a little bit. And that's what she's saying. Say it again. Find the quiet inside you. So however, she's saying peace and quiet. So whatever it is that does that for you, do that first. Then you have plenty to give everybody else. She's saying something about a kitty cat. Holy moly. Sometimes they just throw words out. I'm waiting for her to validate some stuff. We've got to have at least a couple of validations, so we know for sure it's her. All right, so I don't know if you have a job, if this is at your job or this is at your home. Show me again. It's like where you're sitting at your computer and there's like a notebook or some papers or something, and she's showing on the left, doesn't have to be exact, and like they just slip off and fall on the floor, like for no reason. They might just, and she's showing it like there's papers piled up instead of like a notebook all bound together. It could be exact, or it could be one of those things you have to stretch outside the box. I hate being vague, but this is her show. She can show it however she wants. But she's showing like pieces of paper and they're falling, 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 falling. So you could walk away from your spot and come back and it could be laying on the floor. Usually it doesn't happen when you're sitting right there. For some reason, they usually wait till we leave the room. So if papers start getting messed up around your computer or around your work area, whether it's home or at your job, or you start finding them on the floor around that area, know that that's her. And she's got a big smile on her face. She's trying to make sure that you know that she did it, that she's there. Oops, she got quiet. Where'd you go? She says keep an eye on the little one. And she's showing you like maybe not really keeping an eye on the little one, but looking at pictures like maybe on Facebook or on the computer, or maybe somebody sent you pictures of the little one. Be brave. You have an army of friends. Okay. You have an army of friends, and then she's showing your friends like sheep, but one of them has like wolf fur that they're putting down. They're a sheep, but they're putting this wolf hide over the top of them. I don't know what the hell that means, because usually it's the other way around, that there's one that has a sheep thing on them and they're actually a wolf. I honestly don't know what she's trying to show with that. There's always a reason. I don't remember what the saying is. Is sheep in wolf's clothing? It doesn't sound right. Again, she says, be brave. Okay, she's showing me a male. He would have been like in the same class, the same age, roughly, as you guys. But she's shown me him much younger. So he left. She's not saying how long before her. Maybe 5 years. Don't hold me to that absolutely for sure. But when he was younger, I feel like he left by suicide. He's got darker hair, but not real dark. Slim faced, kind of childlike. I don't say childlike like in a demeaning way, but because he was younger back then. So somebody you guys know, and she's showing him for a reason. They're buddies, and you didn't have to be that close. You could have just known who he was. Both doesn't mean that you guys were super close to this male, or that she was super close to this male, but for some reason she's allowing him to come forward. Somebody needs to know that he's there. Somebody needs to know that he's okay. I'm not really getting any more information other than he feels like he was a classmate, something along that line, or in the same church group, or the same something. It doesn't have to exactly be school, so I hate when we have to be vague. You might have to stretch that outside the box a little bit. But some kind of activity or something that you all were in. Somehow you're supposed to know who this is. And she's just validating that she has seen him, met up with him, and they're both good. Good. She says, good to go. Good to go. She has a big smile on her face. She feels so peaceful. Her light is shining even brighter than it was here. She says you need to dance like nobody's watching. Life is actually good. Find those sparks. It's like she always saw the good in. She always saw the good in life. She always saw the good in people. Yeah, we may have done a little shit talk here and there, like gossip and whatever, but okay. Like I can see somebody. She's saying it's like I can see somebody who looks like they're sleeping on the street, down on their luck, may act crazy to everybody else, and yet I can see down in there, and she could too, see down in there that there's always a good spark in people. Sometimes you got to dig for it. There's always a good spark in people. It's not always our job to find it, she says. But she could always see that little flicker inside of him. And I know what she's talking about. I do too. Okay, she's leaving. Of course, well, she didn't give a lot of signs, but get those little signs and then you'll know it's her. And make sure you validate her, acknowledge her, tell her you love her. Ask her to bring you more. Ask her, give her permission, and then be willing to allow and accept whatever comes through. But once you start getting those signs and you go, oh, I know that's you, you'll get more. That's just the way it works. Once the little light bulb goes off in your head, then they go, now I can do more. She's gonna get it. She's gonna know it's me. But that she's leaving and she's throwing rose petals. At least it looks like rose petals. Flower petals. She's throwing them out. So watch for random flower petals. Probably rose. To just be, you might find one on your kitchen counter. You might find one on I find weird stuff on the dash of my truck when it's been sitting outside locked with the windows up. Just, you never know. But if you just see if you walk by a bush and it's shedding the flowers, that doesn't count. Just a random flower petal. Could be walking through Walmart and there could be a fake flower petal laying on the floor right in front of you. When they do feathers and stuff, I pick them up and keep them. That's just me. So anyway, she's throwing flower petals, blowing you kisses. No regrets, no harm done, she said. She said, pull up your big girl panties. Let's go. She's rounding something up. She's going like this as she's walking away. I don't know if she's stirring the energy, but she says something about rounding something up. I don't know for sure what that means. It's totally up to her. It's her show. And she's got a bunch of bunny rabbits following her. I don't know what the heck the deal is with that. Little bunny rabbits hopping along behind her. I don't know if one of you guys had bunny rabbits or have no clue. It's their show. I let them do what they think they need to. Much love to you, my dear. Thank you for being patient. I do tend to get a little behind, so I'm getting caught up. I'm always booked for a little bit. Much love to you, Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. Later. Thank you for allowing me to be her voice.